Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, hi, hello. My name is Lauren. I am so excited for today's video, you guys, because I was just like sitting in my bed, literally watching YouTube videos, and I just got this idea for this video. I had to sit down and share it with you guys because this is something that has become a part of my life now, and something that I've really been looking a lot into. I've been doing a lot of research on, something that I've been super passionate about learning about, and just something that has been interesting me a ton. So of course I had to share it with you guys. My hopes is that by the end of this video, you guys will have a really good starting point if you are also getting into the area of manifestation, because I know that there is a lot of stuff in it that can be really overwhelming, and honestly, you can definitely get turned off by it if you're not finding the right information, or if you're not sure what you want to do or where to focus all your attention first. Before we hop into the video though, guys, I want to also mention that I started a brand new podcast. It's called The Gritty Girl Boss. I'm going to link the iTunes version of it down below for you guys so you can go and check it out. So far I have 2 episodes out, and I will put up a new episode every Tuesday, so make sure you guys go and check it out. I'm on Spotify and on iTunes. And if you guys found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up so more people can find it. Maybe go and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. You guys can do it by clicking the little red subscribe button right down below. And without further ado, guys, let's jump into the video. So if you're not quite sure what manifestation is, I'm going to give you guys kind of a Google definition rundown of it, and then kind of talk a little bit about how I got into it, what it kind of means to me, what I'm using it for, and then we'll jump into the 5 tips, because I want to make sure that you guys have at least a little bit of background information before we start like going ham with all the tips, in case you're someone a little new. If you guys want to see an entire video just talking about manifestation in general, like what it's all about, all that kind of stuff, more like a beginner's type of video, let me know down below in the comments, and I will definitely film that for you guys if you find it interesting or helpful. So just reading off my little notes here, the Google definition that I found was that manifestation is a public display of emotion or feeling or something theoretically made real, which I thought was pretty much a good explanation, at least from what I had been finding. To me, it is all about thinking positive thoughts, thinking what you want to come into fruition or what you want to happen in your life, and pretend as if it has already happened. So for me, what I have been doing and why I have fallen in love with manifesting so quickly is I spend a lot of time thinking about how I would feel in the moment of getting something that I want. So let's say, for example, that I wanted a certain house. Like Clay and I are renting a house right now, and so every day I usually think about renting a house, and I always have this perfect house in my mind. You know, it's got a white kitchen, it's got a new fridge, it's got a yard for Charlie to play in, it has enough space for Clay and I both to have our own areas while also still having our own bedroom, a place to entertain our friends, like a nice living room space. And I just think of this house in details, and this is what I put all of my focus on. And so when you're thinking about the thing that you want and then you put emotions with it, that is what truly brings you what you want in life. You are an energy, you as a person, and everything else is made of energy as well. So when you are putting out these positive vibes and positive thoughts and like just thinking about the things that you want in life in a positive way, then those things will be drawn to you in your life. There are a lot more people out there who have a much better definition, but I thought that was just kind of a good starting point for you guys. I am going to be talking about the 5 tips that will help you get started, so I will go into a little bit more detail in those as well. If you want a good starting place, I also suggest reading the book The Secret or watching the movie on Netflix. You could also probably like rent it from your local library if you wanted. It has been a game changer for me, and what's so weird about this book is that before I even heard about anything manifesting, or like even gotten into it or even thought about it for a little while, I actually went home to my parents' house one weekend and was hanging out with them, and I was just like looking on their bookshelf for a new book to take home and read, because I've just been like a bookworm lately. And I picked this book up not knowing what it was at all. I just thought it was like a fiction book that maybe was going to be really good to read, and I literally just brought it home, like didn't touch it for a couple of days, and then I came across a manifestation video and I was like, oh wait, are they talking about The Secret? I'm pretty sure that's the book that I have at my parents' house. And it all just started connecting together and like coming into my life, and kind of I took that as just like a sign to read it and get involved in it and see how I like it. And honestly, it's brought me a lot of happiness. I feel like I've definitely gotten out of this big rut in my life. I can go into a whole nother video about that though, because I don't want to drone on for hours and hours, which I totally could about this. I want to get into these tips for you guys today, hopefully get you guys started off on the right foot and help you out a ton. But without further ado, let's jump into the tips now. My first tip is to start working on your mindset. This is going to be the number one thing that will help you start making those changes in your life and start bringing to fruition and making those things happen that you are wanting to manifest. And that is changing your mindset from negative thoughts to positive thoughts, which is what manifestation really and truly is all about in the end all be all. It is thinking positively about all situations. It's telling yourself that you are worthy of anything that you desire. And once you start to realize that, and the more you start to change your mindset, you'll honestly start to see a lot of different positive changes in your life. A few examples for how to start changing the way that you think in certain situations would be like this. We live in a really great city, and there are some parts of the city that have these beautiful large homes. And in the past, I was always like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to buy one of those. I'm never gonna be able to live in a house like that. I'm never gonna be able to afford a home like that. Only XYZ people can do that, or only people that have had these experiences in life can afford those. And then I started to change my mindset to every time I see these beautiful homes, I'm like, wow, I will buy a house like that. I am going to buy a house like that. I can afford a house like that. I am worthy of a home that beautiful. I am worthy of a life of that kind of luxury. And it's telling yourself these things over and over repeatedly until you believe it. I know it can be really hard to change such like a negative mindset to a positive one if it's something you've been doing your entire life. Believe me, I'm still struggling with it day to day. There are literally times where I've been talking so much about it to my fiance Clay, and he will catch me some days when I come home in a bad mood from work, and he'll be like, well, it's not gonna happen if you're gonna act like that, or if you're not gonna think positively about it. And I constantly tell him that too. And I mean, it's just a little reminder that we all still have work to do. And of course there are gonna be negative thoughts in our mind, but we are choosing to focus more on the positive. We're choosing to focus on the positive aspects of things so that we bring those things into our lives. So another example is that whenever you are thinking these negative thoughts like, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to not have money, I don't want to be late on my bills, you are thinking those thoughts and therefore attracting those things more to you. So instead, you could start thinking things like, I have more than enough money to pay all of my bills. I make enough money to enjoy life and all that it has to offer. I do not have any issues with paying my bills on time. I do not have a problem with money. Money flows to me in abundance. There are so many different mantras and things that you could say to yourself to kind of get you excited and get you thinking in a positive way. There are so many videos also out there on literally manifesting money. So if that is something you need, just go on YouTube, search it after this video. I promise you will find a ton. The whole point is to begin changing your mindset though from these negative thoughts to these positive thoughts. And once you start thinking positive, you're going to raise your vibration, as the people here in the manifesting world call it. It's raising your vibration, and whenever you are happy and you're doing things that bring you happiness and joy, you begin to attract more of that into your life. Do things you love and think a little bit more positively. Tip number 2 is to do your research. Like I mentioned before the tips started, The Secret is a great book or Netflix movie that you guys can watch if you want to get more information on just manifesting in general, the basics, like where it all comes from, how different people in history have used it, and all of those sorts of things. I think it's a great background knowledge, a great basis for you to start with. And then from there, you can do all sorts of research. I personally love looking up YouTube videos on it. I always just like check out my recommended videos because I watch so many of them nowadays. But there are so many different people here on YouTube who are sharing their advice, their tips, their tricks, their experiences, and different tools and techniques that they use to help manifest things in their lives. There are a ton of different techniques and tactics, I will say, to manifest different things in your lives. And I think that it's important to research those different types and then figure out what things are going to work best for you in your life, what things you're more drawn to, which ones make you feel the best, and then go from there. So I think it's definitely safe to say that research is going to be your best friend in this sort of case. So go out, explore, read some blogs, find some books on it. I will link a couple of different manifestation related books and maybe some videos as well in the description box for you guys to go and check out if you're interested. Sorry guys that the angle just changed. I had to quickly go and charge my camera battery because it was dying. My third tip is to think long and hard about the things that you want in life. And this is the time to not hold yourself back. I mean, go crazy. Think as big as you possibly can. What are the things that you want in your life? What do you want out of your life? What do you think that your purpose is here in life, and how are you going to achieve that purpose? And this is something that's obviously not going to be just a quick little sit down, write it in a journal fix. This is going to be something that you're probably going to want to work on for quite some time. There are a bunch of different programs and questions and books out there that can really help you dig deeper into this subject. I know there's one book that I'm reading right now, The Success Principles, I believe is what it's called. I'll link it down below for you guys, but it actually has like an entire section at the end of a chapter to really dig deep with some questions that help you kind of get a little bit closer to what you think your purpose might be. But I think it's really important to just take the time to really sit down and write out everything that you could possibly want, or even things that you just want like right now. Like, what are some things you're wanting right now? Maybe some bigger goals that you have for yourself too. I think this is a time where you can literally go crazy. Like, think about your wildest dreams, what you would want, and just write them down. Put them somewhere where you're going to see them and come back to them. Make sure you're in a good mood, you're in a good environment when you're doing this, because again, like I said, you want to make sure that you're putting positive vibes with these things, you're not thinking negatively about them, and that you are putting these good vibes out into the world about these different things that you want, so they are going to be more than likely to come to you. My fourth tip is for you guys to go and find some different success stories from other people. I think this is something that will really help you, especially if you're just getting into manifesting and you're not quite sure, and you know, you might think it's a little gimmicky and you think that it might not work for you. I would suggest just going and listening to a couple of people's different success stories. I will link one channel down below. I believe her name is pronounced Lior. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but she has great videos on manifestation, and she shares a lot of her clients' success stories as well. So I think that those have been so helpful for me, just to see what different people have done with their lives and how this has worked for them, whether they realize that they were manifesting or not, you know, if this was just in their subconscious mind or if this is something that they actually worked for. I think this is just so motivating in itself, just hearing different people's stories and where they came from and how they did it and what techniques worked for them and how they really succeeded at it. There are so many on YouTube, so go and check them out. There are probably also a ton of blog posts and different stories about them. I'm sure there are books just full of them. Like I said, The Secret even houses a bunch of those as well, so if you want to read that book, like I said, it is linked down below for you guys. My fifth and final tip is probably one of the most important, and it's an actual technique for helping you to manifest whatever it is that you want, and it is focusing in on the feelings associated with getting whatever it is that you want. So we're gonna go back to the example that I used earlier of Clay and I looking for the right house for our next rented place to move into. I would want to imagine myself like walking into this new home, seeing all these beautiful things, like seeing everything that I wanted, and imagine how that's going to make me feel. So sometimes the way that I typically like to do this most is in the morning when it's quiet and I'm just by myself. You can do this in bed, like right before you go to sleep, or if you just have time in the day, you can really do it whenever. Honestly, it's pretty much just daydreaming, I would say, like really getting into your daydreaming, like kind of going back to being a kid again and feeling creative and just kind of letting your mind wander to all these great places. But it's really feeling the emotions that are going to be associated with getting whatever it is that you want. So for us, if it was the house, I would be feeling things like joy and a sense of hope and motivation and inspiration. This is a new place. I want to feel inspired. I want to feel cozy at home. Like I might feel so grateful and thankful and just excited and happy. And honestly, I can feel myself just like getting happy and excited thinking about it now. And it's those emotions that you're going to connect with that are going to help you get to where it is that you want to be. Alrighty guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. I really hope you guys got something from this. I know it was just kind of a beginner video, and I want to do again another 101 manifestation video for you guys that I will probably film sooner rather than later. So if you want to see that video, please make sure to give this one a big thumbs up. Don't forget to also go ahead and share this video with someone who could use a little positivity in their life, or someone that you want to share what manifesting is all about with. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. You guys can do it by clicking the little red subscribe button right down below. And without further ado guys, that's going to bring us to the end of today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys!